Welcome to Pretty Lies and Alibis. Join us as we seek the truth and travel the long road to justice. Hi, everybody. It's Monday. Welcome to another episode of Pretty Lies and Alibis. I'm Gigi. What's good, Fruit Loop?
Sleep.
Oh, my gosh. I've had none.
Yeah, sleep is good when you can get it.
Yes. I'll be getting it in about an hour.
Yeah.
I'm not even setting an alarm. If I wake up at 10 o'clock tonight, that's what happens. So we just want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Two Cool T-Shirt Quilts. If you want to check them out and see what they can do with all your T-shirts you have piling up, go to twocooltshirtquilts.com/prettyliesandalibis and check them out. So we want to give a big thank you to Debbie Biggs. She surprised us with a very generous donation in our PayPal.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yes, thank you so much. It's
she's been here since the beginning because I know her name. So
yes, and
yeah.
She donated to us last month, which is good
sweet.
Because this has become a full-time job for us, and we never will charge for content. But if anybody is so inclined, our PayPal is prettyliesandalibis@gmail.com. No obligation. So we had our first guest this weekend. We had Cresha K. Easton, which is the niece of Charles Vallow and the aunt of JJ Vallow, on, and I think it went great.
Yeah, don't forget about the super chat thing.
Yes. Oh, we also had a donation. We didn't even know we had super chat set up, but a big thank you to Lori Day for her donation. We didn't even know that was active, so we were surprised.
Thanks, Lori.
Yeah. So the live with Cresha, everybody loved it.
It was fun. It was pretty cool.
It was great. She's very easy to talk to. I had some conversations with her last week, just privately before we went on the live, and felt like I've known her forever.
Yeah.
She did great. And next time we'll definitely, she did answer some of the viewer questions that were sent in before the live. But once we went live, we really just wanted Cresha to have the floor and just to talk about what she felt like she needed to talk about, and just to kind of let her get her story out there. It's very unique to every individual grieving all of these people.
Yeah.
And so hopefully next time when she comes on, we'll do some viewer questions. And speaking of live, we are going to work on getting a permanent live setup going so that there are no hiccups.
Yeah. There's always hiccups with technology,
and there's always hiccups with us. But
yeah.
We're still very new at this. Live was something we never thought we would do, but we just kind of went there. So we're going to get somebody in here that can get us to where we don't knock off, the mics work, and it'll be all good.
Yep.
So baby kittens, I posted about 3 kittens that we found up at my aunt's house. Still had their umbilical cords attached. The mom gave birth and ditched them. They were born under a car. And when they found them, one was dead. And I really thought a lot yesterday about bringing them home and nursing them to health, but it's a big commitment, and I just don't have time, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, we found a stray cat several weeks ago. It was like a little kitten, like we went to eat at a restaurant, and there's not a lot of things for cats. Like we took it. Like we took it to a rescue place. Mm-hmm. It's like our Humane Society. And they're like, oh, it's over so many weeks. We don't take it.
No.
And then they're like, this is what they want us to do. Now you can leave it here. We'll spay and neuter it. And then you got to come, you pay for it.
Right. Yeah.
You come back and get it, and then you take it back to where you found it.
It's hard because
that's what they told us.
Yeah. And they're very selective about that. Yeah. The age of the cat that they take out of the kitten. And on top of that, they're full. So they have found a rescue where they're going to take these babies, people that are very well trained in getting these little kittens up to an age where they can sustain themselves. One did die last night. Actually, the one that I had the picture with, my aunt told me this morning, he just didn't make it. He just wasn't eating good. So anyways, so what was yesterday?
So yesterday was 2 years since Charles's murder.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It has to be a very hard anniversary. And that was something Crush and I talked about is it seems like with as many people as they've lost, there's always an anniversary or a birthday or a death day. And just has to be incredibly hard on the family. At least this year, there is a little bit of closure in that his murder. There have been charges for Lori. Nothing for Chad yet, but never say never.
Yep.
This is not a double jeopardy situation. They can charge him in the future if evidence comes out. And I still think that we're going to see charges regarding the attempted murder of Brandon Murdaugh.
Yep, I agree.
Colby had a sweet post. He had the picture of all the boys on the beach kind of flexing their muscles in honor of Charles. Had a very sweet message. And it's really cute how Charles was looking over very in kind of a proud and protective way at JJ in that picture. If you haven't seen it, go to Colby's Instagram. I think it's Colby J. Ryan.
Yeah.
Very sweet.
Yep.
What did we find out about Chad's books?
So his books are still on Amazon, but it looks like it's like low stock.
Yeah.
So we're kind of hoping that they're going to run out of that supply.
Although it says more's on the way.
What?
Who's reading this crap?
Okay, I did, but it was strictly for this podcast.
Right, yeah, you did it for research purposes. It's kind of like torture stuff.
Yeah.
To read it.
The bad thing is it's digital too.
Yeah, they also have it on.
That's how I did it.
They have it on Audible, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't think he.
I hope he ain't reading.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So, and one thing that we all know that Mark Mean seems to be at the detention center on a daily basis, even though his offices are 4 hours away.
Yeah.
So we did a little research to see if by chance he had any other clients in that facility, and from what I can see, I don't see anybody else.
Yeah.
I mean, just because her hearings are paused, it doesn't mean his job stops. He still is able to do his research on the case or building his case or his defense.
Yeah, but my thing is,
why are you there?
I mean, how much can you talk to your client? Like, you know what I mean?
Well, she's not even there, as far as we know. She's in a mental hospital.
Yeah, it don't make sense.
Very curious, but a lot of things he does doesn't make sense.
I know what it is. He's afraid that if he leaves, they'll forget who he is, and then he'll have to start the whole thing over.
I don't think that.
I know, I'm just kidding.
No, I'm saying I don't think they can forget who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they'll tell him, how it was before. He'll have to file something. They wouldn't let me in.
Right.
Yeah. They didn't let me speak to my client by herself.
Oh, boy. So Summer Wells, still nothing in that case that we know publicly.
That's crazy.
There's just a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that they don't want to put out there, because we find that a lot in these cases. But I mean, I think it's 3 weeks now that she's been missing. I just don't see them now as kind of urgently looking for a child that's missing. And we had read or we had been told that this has kind of shifted to a foul play investigation. Just they haven't said it publicly. I mean, it's not. Sadly, I'm not surprised. You can't have a child. I mean, you do have kids that show up even sometimes years later that have been abducted, but those cases are so far and few between that you can't help but have little hope in a situation like this.
Yeah.
But we want to give a big shout out to Coastal Outdoor Advertising in Myrtle Beach, which is where I have my house, for donating 20 digital billboards just to get awareness out about her.
That's cool.
They are all over Myrtle Beach. It's a big tourist season. There's, a couple million people down there at any given time this time of year.
Yeah.
But what did the sheriff say?
So Hawkins County Sheriff Lawson said the case is nowhere even close to being cold. He says the investigation is still active and intense, and this is not a cold case.
And there have been more than 900 tips, but no real leads that they've said.
Yeah. They're still looking for the driver of the red older model Toyota Tacoma. The sheriff says they're just wondering if they saw anything. They were not caught on any camera, it seems, so this is an eyewitness who saw the truck. It's kind of weird. That's kind of weird no cameras pick that up.
Oh, yeah. But interesting. I mean, they always say witness, and really what it is we got a lot of reasons to want to talk to you besides being a witness. That's usually how it works. They just put that out there not to freak somebody out.
Yeah.
But right now, Hawkins currently has 6 cold cases they're working. So It seems like people that go missing there, the cases do go cold.
Yeah.
So we're just hoping and praying for some good news and a miracle at this point.
Yeah.
Makes me think of Orrin and Orson West. It's been, a year almost,
I know, right?
and nothing.
Yep.
So we're going to move on. This is mainly going to be about the Murdaugh case today. So it's been a little over a month since Paul and Maggie were murdered, and no suspects, very little information released.
Yeah. Since the murders, the investigation into Stephen Smith's death has had new life breathed into it. There's also a probe into whether There was obstruction of justice in the fatal drunken 2019 boat crash that killed Mallory Beach. And that was in a boat that Paul Murdaugh was driving. We've heard that a grand jury is hearing the case of obstruction.
Yeah. And this family has kind of been at the top of the food chain for almost 100 years in 5 different counties down there. I think that's probably safe to say that's over.
Yeah.
I think a lot of skeletons are about to pop out.
Oh, yeah.
There's going to be a big, I think this is going to be a huge case, just not with the murders and just the boat crash. I think a lot of other stuff is going to eventually come out.
Yeah. So Connor Cook, who was a passenger on the boat the night of the crash, he says that law enforcement attempted to blame him for the crash that killed Mallory and tried to get the focus off of Paul.
So what Connor's attorney has filed a petition, and they filed that on July 7th. And the other thing I was thinking about too is I wonder if there's some kind of a big audit over big cases the Murdaughs have had their hands in over the years. That's why I think we're just going to hear a lot of stuff. Now, just a reminder, Connor Cook suffered a broken jaw in this crash. But
yeah.
So essentially in the filing, what they're saying is that officers from the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources and Beaufort County Sheriff's Office colluded to put Connor as the driver of the boat and take the blame away from Paul. This is a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
This is a huge deal when you're talking about law enforcement officials potentially doing things to shift the blame.
Oh, most definitely. So DNR, South Carolina DNR took over the investigation, right?
They did, because it was a boating accident. It happened on water, so it's not highway patrol or anything like that.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell you, honestly, like DNR stuff, they don't play.
No, they don't. But the allegation here is they did.
Yeah.
But in a big sense, we have a lot of lakes in South Carolina. We have 2 huge lakes just near us.
Yeah.
And the DNR, there's no wiggle room when you get in trouble.
It's like cut and dry.
It is, very. So what Connor Cook's attorneys are asking is that they be able to take depositions of law enforcement officers and the ability to review their law enforcement cell phone records.
Ooh.
They say this would confirm or refute evidence of a civil conspiracy coming from the testimony from the depositions of officers that were taken in the civil case regarding Mallory's family, the one they filed.
Gotcha.
So what they've done is they've looked at these depositions and they see some hokey stuff going on.
Wow. Yep. So in the filing, he says that he is informed and believes the law enforcement officers may have information regarding a conspiracy to misdirect the criminal investigation away from Paul and lay the blame on Connor. Dude, that's huge.
That's big. You're talking probably potential jail time for these officials if it's proven they did that. I mean, you're messing with an innocent person. I mean, he wasn't driving the boat.
Exactly.
I mean, one of the first things that everybody on scene said when law enforcement arrived was that Paul was super drunk and he was driving. So the depositions, they weren't focused, obviously, on misconduct at the time. They have to do this now because the statute of limitations is getting close to running out.
Yeah.
So that's why we're starting to see this. And now that Paul's dead, I would assume if he filed this and Paul and his mom hadn't been murdered, it probably would have went nowhere.
Yeah.
I think they would have taken care of this super quick.
Yeah, yeah. So they would like the depositions to include the investigation conducted at the site of the fatal accident, the collection of statements from other passengers on the boat, Paul Murdaugh on body cam, as well as other audio and video footage, collection of physical evidence, collection of DNA and other biological evidence, telephone, verbal, and other communications from the time of law enforcement response to the scene and 24 hours after investigative failures and deficiencies. You spelled a word wrong, and
you totally just smoothed right over that. I was like, she is about to say it wrong, and I'm gonna laugh out loud.
It's like one of those things you get on Facebook where it has the first letter and the last letter.
Yeah,
and you can, they say, if you can read this, you're a genius.
Right, and we went through a phase where with spell check, we didn't even correct it. It was like you figure out what I was saying.
Exactly.
That's always so fun.
Yeah.
They want to know every single person who was disposed and their relationship to various people in the investigation.
Yeah, this is like the whole kit and caboodle.
Oh, yeah. This is just the start of some dirty deeds done dirt cheap. coming to light. So they say that some of the evidence gathered at the scene and after is unaccounted for. They want to ask why Paul wasn't given a field sobriety test and to address other investigative irregularities. There we go. Whoop. That resulted in the loss of evidence that would exonerate Connor and implicate Paul.
Yeah.
Big deal.
They say people they want to interview, they say that the people they want to interview and with others unnamed may have information of collusion and or a civil conspiracy with their respective law enforcement agencies. They also may have information regarding a campaign to cloud the investigation and pass on false information to the community. And they're just with that intent to mislead law enforcement and prosecution, charging parties and the public into believing Connor Cook should be arrested and charged as a driver of the boat. Dude, that was all messed up.
Yeah, very much. So it's just so sad if you think about it that this guy, I mean, the trauma of being on that boat alone is a lot. And then to have a very prominent family try to throw you under the bus because they can to make their son look like just another passenger, it's sickening. But this is kind of what this family does. And the Island Packet, they put out some numbers that the Murdaugh family donated more than $110,000 to political candidates across the state of South Carolina within the last 12 years. These recipients include Governor Henry McMaster, the 14th Circuit Solicitor Duffy Stone, who has not stepped down off this case yet, which I think right there alone is reason he should be booted off.
Oh, yeah.
Local council members and sheriffs. So essentially, they're just buying access to powerful people.
Oh, yeah.
And the law firm, how much have they donated?
So the family's law firm has donated more than $200,000 to political action committees since 2012.
Yeah.
Ironically, the family's law firm has made millions from filing civil suits involving fatal collisions.
Yeah. So that's kind of the latest news on the Murdaugh case. Like we said, nothing new about motive, suspect, anything like that. There's tons of rumors floating around out there as far as motive and all that other stuff. But yeah, this is just going to be a big case to watch. I think that once the information starts coming out, it's going to be like a snowball downhill.
Oh yeah, most definitely. It's like a landslide. Like once that little bit of snow lets loose,
that's it. Avalanche.
It's like pouring avalanche.
Yep, they're going to get covered up. So it's all very strange. It's so hush hush. But I think a little transparency would make people feel, at least the citizens of South Carolina like us, feel better. That, I know there's investigations and stuff, and they have to keep some things quiet, but it's been really quiet.
Oh, yeah. Very
quiet. So that's kind of more of a little update than a full episode that we had. Fruit Loop has a crazy busy day, so we just kind of fitted this in while we could.
Yeah, sorry.
I have a busy day with my pillow.
Yeah.
And my covers.
And your eyelids.
And I'm going to see how they look from behind. And so, yeah, but we just wanted to hop on, do a little update. Sorry if it seems rushed. Sometimes.
But it's rushed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're just going to keep an eye on everything. I think we will probably have another one out maybe Thursday-ish. We'll see how our week goes. If anything big happens, we'll be back. As far as we know, Lori's still in the mental hospital. We still need to do another glimpse at life. It's been about a month or more.
Yeah.
But that's not a bad thing because we kind of did that when we would have no news. And so all the cases that we're covering, there's just a little bit here and there.
Yep.
So we're just keeping you guys updated. I hope you guys have a good Monday. And
we did love all your posts and comments on the live.
So many.
We went back and read them.
So many. So many comments between YouTube and all of our social media posts. If we haven't got to them yet, we're still going down. There were hundreds. And I think that's just a testament to how welcoming you guys were to Cresha.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I hope she felt comfortable. It seemed like she did. I think it's just a reminder that sometimes what we see in the news, which are the main kind of Kay and Larry who started the whole process of getting the welfare check, but you have Cresha on and you think about Charles's sons yesterday, and we've said it again and again, the reach of grief, the people that this is deeply affected for the rest of their lives goes on and on and on. And we were just so happy that she was our first guest. She's amazing. So hopefully we'll have her back on in the future, and we'll just keep having some live guests on once we get this set up. We're not doing another live until the setup is 100% down pat, no interruptions, and no me having to yell because my mic's off.
Yeah.
So anyways, you guys have a good Monday. We will keep you posted on social media, and we'll probably see you about midweek.
Sounds good.
Have a good one.